He was a doctor. He was a pediatrician, and not many people called him doctor. He didn't really have that, moniker to his name because it wasn't important. His patients were important. And that's what I feel when I'm doing nursing. And I certainly felt that with Miss Carolyn. Saturday was the first day that Carolyn actually had my father as a nurse, and I couldn't get a hold of him. And that's unlike him. He usually calls at 9:30, 9:40 in the morning, so forth and so on. So I called her, and she was able to put me on the phone.
I said, he's feeling very depressed, and I don't really know your dad, so I don't know how to cheer him up. And he said, ask him how he got to the Super Bowl in 1969. I said, okay, I can do that. It really is an honor to be that 1 to 3 people that are going to see that person. I mean, you're the person that's going to lift their spirits and make them feel better. I called management and I said, we've got this 90-year-old man that all he's asking to do is see his wife, and I think it's only fair to let her come in and see him before she might not ever get to see him again.
Before going into surgery, I asked Carolyn to please have me on a video conference, in which she actually held the iPad up to my father so I can, wish him all the best, so forth and so on. And he was out of breath, weak, and as a nurse, I can see the downward progression. And then I hung up, and then I realized that my brother hasn't seen my father, and I called my brother, and I was extremely emotional when I did. And I immediately called Carolyn back up, and I said, listen, my brother hasn't spoken to my father or seen my father in the same 3-week period of time. Is it possible to bother you again? And not even I think she even interrupted me, and she said, it's not a problem, just tell him to give me a call.
I think I internalized it a little and thought about, if this was my grandfather, I would do everything I could to make sure that happened. So it wouldn't be fair for me to take that away from them. If I didn't do it, they wouldn't have been able to see him. So I guess I wouldn't have been able to live with that as a nurse.
On the elevator going up to the ICU, when I get a text message. Now, I didn't save her name, but I know the number. And I obviously know why she's texting me. And her text message was just the most sincere, sympathetic, empathetic that I've read in a long time. She thanked me for allowing me to get to know him. How many times did you get a text message like that? Not many. I was trying to figure out a way that I can recognize her quicker than normal. And writing to her manager was something that I wanted to do, but I also knew that it had to contain something else.
I would like to present this star to Carolyn for everything she did to encourage my father to keep fighting.
It's been a very rough time in understanding a lot of things, and having my nursing background sort of gives me a little bit of peace, thinking that there had been a lot of things done at Duke that weren't done elsewhere, and he was given the best possible chances. And he would have only been given the best possible chances, I believe, at Duke.
It would be an honor for my family that she is presented with this star and the letter that was presented to me in 2015.
Carolyn is the perfect example of the human side of caring and the human side of nursing. Frontline nurses, it is more than just your 12-hour shift and you go home. We're making impressions on people. We're showing, again, the human side of caring, and it matters.
That's what I'll remember, is how powerful of a moment those 3 days were, how they impacted not only their family, but myself. I get to keep that, so.
What you did was genuine, Carolyn, and I thank you for that, and I appreciate it. And I know my father is sitting on your shoulder, and if you have any problems or any questions, and if you're stuck for an answer, I bet you he's whispering in your ear what to do. Thank you.